man a couple of things about immigration, and I have a couple of questions for you. I'm from a small town in Mississippi, and I work construction, and about every job that I get to go work on, 95% of the people there are Mexicans. And I wear a U.S. Border Patrol hat every day. I love my country, but I fear my government. And I go up and I ask them, I'll make it the point to go up and ask some of these, you know, are you legal or illegal? And 95% of them they'll just look at me and smile and say I'm illegal. And then a week down the road, I'm getting laid off of my job. They're squeezing me to death with all these new taxes. And a question I wanted to ask you, Alex, today is this national ID that's coming out, when do you think this will hit? And I'm refusing to get this national ID card, so what does that mean for me?
Okay, the way it's written, and this is in the AP, it's in the Hill newspaper. In fact, here's the article right here. You won't be able to have a job, and the illegals don't have to have it. So stay there. I'll explain this when we get back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
You may be arrested and/or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cannons, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Let me answer Shannon's question as best I can. Take the carbon taxes. You're saying, what does this have to do with illegal aliens? I'll explain before we go back to him. Mexico, China, India, Malaysia, Taiwan, over 160 nations under the agreement have to make no carbon dioxide cuts. The West has to make cuts of at least 20%. So what's going to happen to the few factories and jobs and businesses we have? They're going to leave. China has no environmental standards, no insurance, no workers' compensation, no environmental cleanup bills. They just do whatever they want. Same thing with India. And it's not that we're against the people of India or Mexico or China or Eastern Europe. They're being exploited as well. And the globalists have stated they want to drive down wages. And they lied to the public and said NAFTA and GATT and the WTO are going to be great for you. They've known exactly what would happen. And Mexico, in the last 17, 18 years since NAFTA, for the first decade, they did well. They got to move up to the maquiladoras. They got paid low wages, but it was still better than some of the things they had in Mexico City. The government used environmental laws to drive most of the indigenous people off of their land on record up to those factories. Now almost all those factories are shut down because it can't compete with China, where the average salary is about 55 cents an hour. We're talking about people maybe making a couple $1,000s a year. Now, you can never compete with that. Now, what you're dealing with in construction, and I've talked to chefs in Dallas, chefs in Houston, chefs in Los Angeles, where now if you can't speak Spanish, you're just basically kicked off. They won't work with you. So there's also a view of whether you're Hispanic American, black, white, it doesn't matter. You're not wanted. So it's also very, very tribal. Perfect for the government because the average people can't hear the language, don't understand it, don't know what's going on under the surface. So the government also gives massive welfare to these groups. I've seen reports of the average illegal being on 3 forms of welfare under 3 fake consular matricula IDs that the government just issues to their people because that money gets sent back home. But on the issue of construction and other jobs, including cities, counties, and states, and the feds, remember the border fence, part of it was being built by illegals? Just the 50-something miles of show fence they built, and then they never finished it, of course. The illegal aliens are there to undermine jobs, they're to bankrupt people, they're to drive wages down. That's what globalization is. And so the illegals can live 5, 10, 15 to an apartment or a house. They avoid most of the taxes. They're supplemented with welfare. They don't have to show all the forms of ID that citizens do. They get let go when they're drunk driving. They get let go when they're caught with $105,000 of drug money in Knoxville, Tennessee, that we covered yesterday, because they are on the government team. They are needed to deindustrialize and break the United States to get rid of the middle class, which is what global elites always in modern history push to do. They don't want you independent. They don't want you doing well. They don't want the next generation doing better. What does the head of the IMF say last week? The good times are over. You're going to be poor. Get used to it. We've broken up your families. You're all working now. The state's got your kids. This is just the further process of domestication. So it's the same thing with the illegals. They're brought in to undermine jobs and to drive down the standard of living and to bankrupt the states so the federal government, which is itself controlled by the offshore banks, can come in and take over. And so that's why there'll be no enforcement on the illegal aliens. They're not going to have to get IDs, but it's going to be felonies for citizens, and that's in the immigration bill, if you don't have this federalized worker ID card that tracks everything you do and ties into the IRS and the health care bill. And even before the health care bill passed, 3 months before it passed, Illinois was already implementing the provisions of it. So they just do whatever they want. And that's only one dimension of it. Then the illegals, again, will vote for bigger government, more handouts, gun control, as long as the party in power gives them some goodies. And the system's always been worried about immigrant populations waking up. They've been really worried about keeping blacks on the Democratic Party reservation. Not that the Republicans would save them. They took, you had almost 90% in the 1940s and 50s of blacks in America were, quote, legitimate, meaning there was a mother and a father. And blacks owned their own businesses and were very, very wealthy. I mean, there were just a lot of a very large black middle class. Okay, and it's on record. The CIA began shipping in cocaine, heroin. They would only allow the hooker operations to be in the black neighborhood as a way to degrade the society. I mean, this is a weaponized system, a war going on. But it isn't even so much that the globalists hate blacks. They do. But it's mainly they always pick a minority to beta test it. Like they told you the police state was for Arabs and Muslims and foreigners. But now we get the internal documents, and now they openly announce it's for the American people, period. And so they've got the average black person loving the Democratic Party. Well, the Democratic Party, under the Rockefellers and others, is there to abort their babies, more than half of them. They're to poison their food and water. They're to shoot them up with deadly shots. They're to ship drugs in and then put their kids in prison. The media is there to sell the gangster rap culture. It's all crafted, but they sell the same culture to everybody else. They've just had the blacks where they want them longer because they came out of slavery and never had a middle class. Well, they developed one by the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and that's gone now. You have 90+% illegitimacy. People say, oh, well, you're attacking single parents. No, I'm not. I'm studying